Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll get started in just a minute.
Crashing all over the place. Mail merges fail. It's pure distress. Then came the hero, T2200 Express. No more hunting for data points. No more stress in payroll joints. Built on Workday, smooth and clean.
Well, we got a lot of fun stuff to cover today, so I'm going to just jump right in. Thank you guys again. Welcome to our webinar where we get to talk about the exciting world of Canadian payroll compliance. I know you're super excited. We're super excited. We can't wait to share with you all how your dreams are going to come true after hearing all about the T2200 Express powered by the Groove. With only a little bit less than 30 minutes now to get you all the juicy details, we'll do a quick intro of our key players here on the call from the Groove. We'll do a quick overview of what Built on Workday is, just to get us all on the same page in case you weren't aware. Then we'll get to the real conundrum we all have, which is with the T2200 and the TP643. And I don't know about you, but I just can't talk about a problem if there's no solution. So of course, we'll then tell you how the T2200 Express is going to solve all those challenges with an intro to features and benefits. And then I'll really turn it over to the star of the show, the real meat and potatoes of why you're here, so that you can see it in action with a live demo. But don't worry, we're still going to have plenty of time at the end for Q&A. Then we'll wrap up with a fun announcement before sending you off to the races. So, hi everyone, it's nice to meet you. My name's Noelle McChristian. On this particular app that we worked on, I did the go-to-market. And at the Groove, I'm the director of go-to-market and strategy. I'm joined by the lovely two builders of this app. I've got Clint Harwood here, who's the architect of this app and our resident Canadian. He's the director of Workday Extend here. And then Angie Bonini is here. She is the lead developer of this app, and she's an Extend consultant here at the Groove. So with our team here combined, we'll be able to answer all your questions and hopefully give you a wonderful tour of this solution. So before we get started, many of you have probably heard of this term Built on Workday, whether it's coming from the Workday Marketplace, from Workday announcements, or from other partners. But let's get quick alignment on what's happening so you can get a good feel for what the T2200 Express app will actually be doing if you decide to purchase it. So the T2200 Express is a built-on Workday app. You may also see the term BOW around. And these are pre-built apps that are built solely by Workday partners. They're not built by Workday, and they're distributed by Workday. So we build them, we get them approved through Workday, and then Workday distributes them once you purchase through a framework called the App Distribution Framework. So you subscribe to the app, you get to use the functionality, but there's no implementation like you probably had in your initial deployments of Workday. There's no professional services that are needed as a part of this. Once you subscribe to the app, it becomes available to install in your tenants, and you get to use it just like you would any feature or Workday product or SKU in your native environments. The purpose of these is that they extend the Workday delivered features and functionality without Workday product having to build these nuances or use cases into its baseline code. So they usually always solve a specific use case or business challenge. In this case, we're solving the conundrum of the T2200 Express without the need for you to actually build something that's specific or bespoke just to you. The apps themselves are built using the Workday Extend framework. So they run inside your tenants using your security. We as partners don't get access to your tenants, your data. We don't get to see how you're using the app. We just own that baseline code of the app. So any updates or enhancements that come, you get all of the benefits of that. And the best news is you don't actually have to purchase or have Extend in order to use it. You're just subscribing to the app itself. All right. Let's jump into the T2200 key business challenges, the reason why you're here today. So a lot of you have probably dealt with manual processing of T2200s, whether that's spreadsheets or emails out and an exchange in that way, but it's paper forms. Then you have to store it, both for if you have employees or workers in Quebec, then you also have the TP643 that has this sort of exact same challenge. So that makes it inefficient, it's frustrating, it takes a long time. You've got a negative employee experience that comes with this because sometimes the communication can get lost. It delays them being able to submit their taxes and gain the benefits from that. It's resource intensive. We've heard from countless organizations that it could take over 200 hours each year just to process something like this. And you lose that time that you could be spent doing other things. And then it creates operational inefficiencies. So audit time comes around, or you're trying to store it all in one spot. Where do I go find it? Well, this year somebody else built it for us and they distributed it through a mail merge. We did it ourselves, paper forms the year before. So how are we solving this with the T2200 Express? Number one, we've got an admin control hub. One-stop shop. You as administrators can go in and see who's requested it, who received it, who signed it, and it will have the entire history there for you to be able to look at one spot. You've got a built-in workflow, so it's a business process. You can route to whomever you need to in this process to be able to approve, fill certain components out, and things like that. We know people are using Workday differently. Some of you may have Workday expenses, some of you may not. But with the way that this app has been delivered, you're allowed to pull in the fields that you want to default into the form. So if it's a certain kind of employee, maybe you're pulling from commission plans. If it's another kind of employee, maybe you're pulling from a different area of compensation or expense reimbursement. And lastly, we've got mass distribute functionality. So you've got a ton of employees that are eligible for this. You don't want to wait for them to request one by one and have to fill it out. You're just going to send it to every eligible employee. This mass distribute functionality allows you to be able to handle that. All right, so what are the benefits of this? You're eliminating that manual processing. It's all in Workday. It's a place that your employees are familiar with using already, that you as administrators are familiar with using. Got 80% time savings. So by leveraging the either mass distribute or the ad hoc functionality, you can reduce your time down to 5 minutes per one employee. This drives operational efficiencies. So you're following, making sure all the fields that are completed the way that they need to be, that's audit ready. You've got an audit trail, you've got a business process, you've got reports that you can pull up. And of course, because it's quicker, it enhances employee satisfaction. They can easily access it on their worker profile at any point in time, even if it's several years later when they're being audited. All right, with that, I'm going to flip it over to Clint, who's going to give us a demo.
Excellent. Let me just share a screen out here. That looks right. That's over in the wrong spot, but we'll get those figured out. So where we're going to start off is I'm on the homepage. I logged in as Logan McNeil, and you'll notice we have a nice little homepage card here that says T2200 Express. Let's go start exploring this app. I'm going to start off on the T2200 Express Hub. This is where you're going to control the whole process from. You'll see that we've got an in progress and completed. So as we're doing the T2200s, they're just appearing here, and we're able to see which ones are in progress and which ones are done. And if somebody comes back and says, where's my T2200? You can say, yeah, it was done. So you should just go look in your worker documents. Let me start with the setup here, because I want to walk you through the two different ways of actually running a T2200 for folks. I'll run you through the bulk process first, because I kind of think that that's what most people are going to be doing. And then I'll run you through the individual process. So if I look at the setup tab here, what we're going to see is we have a series of mappings. So we've got under each one of these areas a calc field for each one of the fields on the T2200. So what you're going to do is you're going to get our application, you're going to set these calc fields up so that they will do whatever it is you need them to do. Yeah, let me show you one that's actually set up here. So if I look at one of the commission items here, so if I look in the new tab, I'm just going to show you what one of these calc fields look like. I grabbed the wrong one, didn't I? So here's a calculated field that's going to check and see if this person's in a commission comp plan, and you can just chase this all the way down. So you can see if this person is actually in a commission plan. We don't know what your commission plans would be. We don't know how your payroll is set up. You can set this up so that when you run this, it just automatically appears on that person and you don't need to do anything else. So this is the power and flexibility that you're going to get with this. This is what's going to allow your application, your T2200s, to be specific to your organization. Now, we can test this. So if I want to see what that T2200 looks like, or what a T64.3 mapping looks like, I can say, hey, what would it look like if I was looking for a TP64 for Dominic Leclerc? What would these calc fields actually show me right now? And this is what he would actually see. Here's what his TP64.3 would have all the values on based on the calc fields as they're set up here. Great, so we can see, hey, this works. So where do we go from here? Well, let's do a bulk load. So I'm going to do a bulk load. I'm only going to load 2 people, but let me show you how you control that. You get to control who these things run for. Now there's a bunch of reports that come along with this, but the one that we're going to be interested in is the T2200 population. I'm just going to pop in here so you can see what the report looks like. This is the report that's going to drive everything, but the filter, this is how you control the population. There's a calc field for this. This calc field is what you can say, hey, if anyone that I want to put into this group who's eligible for a T2200, I make a calc field so that that works, and that's all you need. Now, I've specified 2 workers here, Amy Frost and Dominic Leclerc, which you're totally able to do as well. It's just a report. Whoever this report returns, that's going to be the group that is going to get their T2200 and TP64.3. We'll see that Dominic's going to get a TP64, Amy will not. So, report's done. Great question. So if you're not using Workday expenses, how do you get data from external sources? Unfortunately, it has to get into Workday somehow. So you could put it into a custom object, or if you've got extend a model object, any of those calc fields that you can reach from the worker object are going to be available to you. So you can put those things in as you need. So now I'm going to do a mass launch, just a straight integration system. No launch parameters or anything, just hit it, hit run. And this will run fairly quickly. Always takes longer when people are watching, right? So now I've created those 2 T2200s and a TP64.3. Let's go see those. Let's start up a proxy for Dominic. Come on. Would actually help if I hit start proxy, wouldn't it? And we'll see that Dominic has been notified, hey, you've got a T2200 that you need to acknowledge. He also is available under My Tasks. He says, yep, I am aware that I've been given a T2200 now, and this will now have created it within his worker documents. Under personal documents, we'll see that he has a TP64.3 and a T2200. It's also aware that Dominic is in Montreal and his preferred language is French, so you'll notice that this has been created in French. Even though I ran the process in English, it's going to look at the worker and use their preferred language for the form that they're working with. And you'll see that there's a standard T2200 here, nothing shocking there, and a TP64.3, also in English and French. And you'll see that these are all available. Now, if I pop over and look as Amy Frost, Amy's in Calgary, her preferred language is English, and of course, being in Calgary doesn't have a need for a TP64.3, so when she acknowledges her T2200, We'll now see that she just gets a T2200, no TP64.3, and is presented in English. But wait, there's more. Let's see what the individual process looks like. So let me go be somebody else here. Let's be Henry Lynch. Henry's in Calgary as well. Let's say he got missed in our bulk process. For bulk process, Henry needs it. He's available for a T2200. He's eligible. He's just going to request it. He's going to request it. He's going to say, hey, I was required to travel. They sent me to Edmonton. Sorry, folks, I grew up in Calgary, so I have to use Edmonton as an example and hit OK. That's all Henry needs to do in order to request a T2200. Now you have control over this. You can control who can request a T2200 and where that T2200 request is going to end up. So right now I've got this set so that it'll just end up on Logan's desk. So Logan can now complete that T2200. It's going to default in everything according to the calc fields that we've already put together. However, any of the items that we're setting here, you'll notice that Edmonton has now been placed inside of this. It's all ready to go. And because Henry is in fact eligible, we're going to hit OK. And now Henry's got a T2200. He'll have to do the check of the submission, and it'll just appear in his worker documents. Any other questions?
And we're moving
Fantastic.
on.
There,
Yeah, we're moving on to live Q&A now too. So if you guys have questions, you can type them in. I believe I can allow everyone to talk as well. So if you prefer to come off and just ask questions, you're able to do that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow everyone here if they would like to come off mute and ask questions, we could do that too. Emily.
Yes, sorry, I think I'm just missing the first part. So I just wondering, how does that build the implement this like feature or kind of not implement adding this feature in to be part of the workday so that we were able to kind of run launch this function in workday and build everything.
No, that's a
so
great question. Go ahead, Clint.
Great. So this is what's called a built-on Workday application. So this is an application that we use the extend tools to build, but there's a program called built-on Workday. So what you do is, you tell us, hey, we want to buy this. We go through an agreement that involves us and Workday and you. And what happens is Workday then provisions this application to you. So they're going to say, hey, you can now use this application. You can't see the source code or anything behind it. You can see some of the tenant side configurations because obviously you need to be able to build the calc fields that it's going to use. But once you've gone through that process, you have access to use that code, and we do the updates for it. So as the forms change, we update those, and you just automatically get them. That answer your
Yeah.
question?
Yeah, how are we gonna maintain this? Is it something we're maintaining the option like default answer on our end?
No, we maintain it. So the benefit of something like this is you subscribe to it the same way that you would subscribe to a Workday product. And every time the forms need updating, every year if they change, we're responsible for making sure that the forms are up to date for you. If there are enhancements that get released, we do that. The only piece for you is if your business process changes, like maybe one year it's the payroll administrator who's filling this out, but the next year it's the HR administrator, you just have to change that out. Um, or if one year you want to mass distribute and the next year you want to allow ad hoc, that's on up to you. But as far as just the app itself and all the maintenance that goes along with it, what you get when you purchase the application is support. So if you're having issues with it, we come in, we fix it. It's not an extra charge or anything like that. You also get the enhancements that come with it and then any form updates and things like that. So it kind of takes the work off of you for maintaining this and just allows you to use it as if it was a native part of Workday.
Okay, so
Mhm.
actually, the form is required for the employee name. Everything is linked to the origin, the link for the data coming from the workdays that we
Mhm.
build this, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I just wanted to call out, like we have the calc fields mapped for like first name, language, population. Um, and we have default mapping, but like you can go in and change that to pull from whatever data because it's so dependent on what customers where they store their data and how they use it.
mhm,
So
mhm.
it gives you that flexibility that you can go in and update those calc fields to fit your needs.
Okay, got you. For the subscription, is every year we need to renew it, or is a kind of like a how is the frequency of that?
We start at a year for a subscription. So, and I know organizations are different, right? So it depends on what your minimum subscription or your max is. But we start annually, and that's the charge is annually. If
Uh-huh.
you want a longer contract, like 2 years, 3 years, or something like that, well, we have discounts available for a longer term contract.
Okay, how many volume like employee that you can manage it for the for this actual application? Like it can
Uh,
apply.
it can handle quite a lot. The only
Uh-huh.
thing that may start being a trouble is if you have enough in the bulk load that you have to break it into a couple or three loads. If you're dealing with tens of thousands, you'll probably need to run the bulk process a couple of times, which
Okay.
still takes 20 minutes. And 20 minutes of run and come back and make sure it worked fine. It's actually pretty easy to do, and because all you're doing is changing the report, it's very easy to control who you're running for and how many.
And I mean, he just ran that one, and for two employees, it took 7 seconds. So I mean, you can get quite a bit, um, a lot of employees in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
These are great questions. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions on the app, built on Workday in general and how it works? Anything else you want to see before we move on? Okay. I can take over sharing now, Clint.
Let me stop sharing.
All right. Let me flip over to my screen. All right. So we've got a QR code here that will take you to our marketplace listing if you wanted to check it out. If you're interested in purchasing it, you could do it directly through the marketplace as well. You can also work with us. But one of the many benefits to coming to this webinar, we understand it's as a former customer myself, just trying to wrap my head around the fact that this is in my Workday tenant, even though a partner built it, I don't have to maintain it. What does this look and feel like? Is it a separate thing outside of Workday? We want to make sure you guys get a chance to really get some hands-on experience with it. So, following this, I'm going to send every person who attended an email, and you're going to get that email with a link to a tenant, a username and a password personally for you to use, a navigation guide, and then you'll have our support email address that you can go back and forth with if you have questions while you're playing around with it. Then you'll get today's recording so you could go through the scenarios as well. And you'll have until the end of this week to go into our tenant, play around, get a good feel for what this app would feel like to use. Now, it's a GMS tenant, it's not real people. You'll be able to proxy as the administrator and you'll be able to proxy as individual users, and I'll provide those for each of you. Um, but at least you can start to understand like a built-on Workday app, how it feels like just like a normal part of your Workday tenant. So if there's if there's no more questions, I can go ahead and get started with that. Um, we also have more apps, so you're welcome to visit our website and see our marketplace apps. I'll also send out this presentation when I send out the link to log in. Let me see, is there any other questions that came in? I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh,
Emily's put her hand up there.
Yeah.
Emily.
Yes. Is it possible that you can send, does that pricing was able to send it separately, or then we will just go your portal to check it?
You can go to the marketplace. I also have it on here if you'd like
Okay.
to see what the pricing is. I figured that might be a question that came up today. So ours is kind of user based. The TP643 is an add-on, but this is the pricing annually. And again, if you're looking for a longer term contract after you play with this, and you say like looks like it's something that would work for us, then we would talk about a discount over a multi-year contract.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Mhm. Awesome. Well, I thank you guys all for joining today, for the great questions that you submitted. And if you have any questions while you're going through, please feel free to reach out. You can use the product support email. You can also email us directly, and I'll make sure you have that information when I send out the follow-up email. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.